Voice of Industry.
Voice of Industries.
Marouane, welcome to Voice of Industries. I'm pleased to have you today to discuss how SaaS, or software as a service, and cloud can be game changers for industrial sectors. First, could you please introduce yourself and your work at Optimistik?
Thank you, Mathieu, for having me at Voice of Industries. So I'm Marouane Hassani, and I'm the CTO of Optimistik. So I'm leading currently everything related to product development, as well as the running of the infrastructure. Previously, I have a strong background in IT. I started in manufacturing, but I quickly moved to leading IT projects, especially on functional design of application, and then from building software from scratch.
Marouane, could you start by explaining what Optimistik is doing?
So Optimistik is a software company that develops OIAnalytics, which is an industrial data platform. This platform helps industry take advantage of their data to improve their performance.
Marouane, could you start by explaining what software as a service is?
Software as a service is a way of delivering software to customers. It's not a new concept. It has been, I think, first introduced in the IT world by Salesforce in 1999. Basically, SaaS subscription include pretty much everything. It includes the setup of the platform, the monitoring of the platform, the running of the platform, upgrading the softwares, easy assistance, backups, disaster recovery plan, scaling the infrastructure according to the customer need. So it's really a one-stop shop for everything related to the software you are buying.
So that means the customer just have to buy the software and everything is included in it.
Yes, he doesn't have the hassle to install the software into its infrastructure and running it. We do it for them.
And so it also means that there is no CapEx related to infrastructures. It's really just OpEx related to the cost of the SaaS subscription.
Yeah, in general, the customer pays a subscription and get everything around the data platform managed for him. So he doesn't have to incur additional costs running the infrastructure on its on-premise infrastructure.
As a CTO of Optimistik, you decided to develop the OIAnalytics platform as a software as a service solution. Could you explain us why you made this choice 8 years ago?
It's really a customer-centric choice. It's not something we did for our own benefits or for our own good. What my experience led me to observe is that usually, and especially in industry, we have been running legacy software that were running on-premise, on server, that were not on state-of-the-art technology, that were difficult to run. And I decided I wanted to do things differently. Again, software as a service was around for a lot of time when we founded Optimistik, so it was not something new. But I felt that in the industry world, we still relied upon software that were running on-premise and that were quickly becoming obsolete.
Okay, it's clear. You mentioned that this was a customer-centric choice. If we look from the customer side, what is their feeling about this way to deliver OIAnalytics? What was their experience?
I cannot talk for all customers, but my general feeling is that they're happy with the way we are delivering the software. The initial talk are quite complicated because you need to convince that people moving from the old system, from the old way of running softwares, of managing infrastructure. But once they have decided to go with OIAnalytics or even with other softwares as a service, I think they're happy with their choice because the flexibility SaaS brings to them is really something that helps them with their day-to-day operation. And it's something less to care about when you're running IT infrastructure and IT platforms. So I think that most of the time they're quite happy with their choice to move to software as a service subscription. And this applies not only to small corporate industry, which we might think quite don't have IT people to run their infrastructure, but it also applies to larger corporate accounts, which may have the manpower, but their manpower is likely better invested in other fields and in other way of supporting their IT operations.
Anyway, do you have any customer requiring that your platform to run on their own infrastructure, and why are they making this choice?
Yes, of course. It's never black or white. Not everybody wants to engage in the SaaS journey, and I can understand that. The main reason we see behind corporate accounts wanting to run OIAnalytics or any other software on their infrastructure is mainly compliance and regulatory reasons. Some just cannot because of their internal policies or because of other regulation. They cannot run on and they cannot rely on a third party such as Optimistik to run their software. For other, it's a compliance reasons where they have internal policies where they decide that they should run their own infrastructure. So it's kind of a showstopper for them to move to SaaS.
So what can you propose to them?
We've listened to this trend, we've listened to this requirement, and in 2022, we launched at Optimistik a new way to deliver software, which is called the private cloud delivery. So basically what we offer within this way of delivering the software is to copy and install our SaaS infrastructure within the cloud environment of our customer. Today, we support two hyperscalers for delivering OIAnalytics. One is Amazon Web Services, and the other one is Microsoft Azure. And our plan is to extend this support to more and more hyperscalers in the future to be able to deliver private cloud OIAnalytics.
To summarize what you said, when do you think it's relevant to go to a platform deployed in private cloud? And what are the remaining benefits of SaaS versus private cloud implementation?
If it were up to me, I would go for SaaS 100% of the time. But of course, I understand that customers have their own requirements, their own policies, their own regulatory constraints. So it's up to them to make their choice. We offer the choice of two ways of delivering the software. My guess is that if you don't have compliance or regulatory purpose, then you should go to SaaS for an easier way to manage and run the infrastructure. And the fallback should be running a private cloud, which is still additional cost, additional pain to run this. So if you are constrained to do that, then you should choose a private cloud implementation.
Marouane, can you give us some examples of industrial sectors where you have this regulatory constraint you mentioned previously?
Yeah, sure. The one that comes in mind first is, of course, the defense sector, where you have strong regulatory constraints, and also the energy sector, in particular nuclear power plants, which will have constraints regarding some critical defense-sensitive information. So those two sectors will have those kind of constraints.
Okay, that's clear. Finally, can you give us some trends you observe on the market on the way to deliver such platform as OIAnalytics?
The trend I see is that from the 8 years journey we have in Optimistik, I see that SaaS is less and less raising questions, raising problems when we discuss in pre-sales phase with our customer. The work we have done in cybersecurity, the work we have done in how we scale the infrastructure, the work we have done in spreading the cost among every customer to make it affordable to run those kind of to buy those kind of softwares, makes it that people don't have the same question they had 5 years ago when in the industry, at least SaaS was a new thing. So I feel that more and more people are willing to engage in this journey. Of course, as we talked about, there are still sizable amount of accounts of corporate industries that have their requirements and are not ready to move to this kind of delivery. And for them, we still want to enable the power of OIAnalytics. So we felt that we had to move and change a little bit the way we delivered software.
Thank you, Marouane, for sharing with us this experience.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.